WXRT Comedy Break.
Round up the usual suspects.
Starring the usual suspects.
Hi, and welcome to the Meat Eaters. I'm your hostess, Phyllis O'Connor, and I'm cooking a pot roast while we speak.
You're kidding.
I am not. It's in a slow cooker. Now, my guests and I have just eaten a 72-ounce Texas strip steak, so it'll be a short show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Because with all that beef in our bellies, we're going to be napping before you know it. Now, today, talking chops, ribs, roasts, and steaks. But let's meet our flesh eaters first. Phil Riley from Marinette, Wisconsin. What's your cut today?
Today I'm going to recommend a ribeye.
Harry Weiss from Queens. Your cut?
I love a Lady Delmonico.
Me, I'm suggesting a butt steak. Why? Because I like the way it sounds. Okay, let's talk about ribs. Beef or pork? Pros and cons.
First thing about ribs, big misconception, you don't have to boil them.
But you should boil them.
Well, you don't have to.
No, you don't have to. You can have a millimeter-sized parasite multiply in your intestines if you want.
Okay, what about steak tartare?
I'm not touching it. It's crawling with stuff.
Okay. Gentlemen, we're not going to have this argument again. Worms, parasites, they happen. Let's not dwell on it.
I'll tell you what gets me. When we were kids, you had meatloaf. Plain old meatloaf. Now it's veal and beef. Pork and veal. Veal, pork, and beef.
You don't like it.
I love it. Imagine a loaf with every kind of meat. It's possible. Veal, beef, pork, venison, bison.
The only problem there is you can't see the cut. I mean, is it a rump or a shoulder shank?
Well, you could have anything. You could have muskrat, buffalo.
Okay, that bell means it's time to Ask a Butcher. On our phone line, we have Alan Smigel from Scranton, PA. Alan, you're a butcher.
Yes, I am.
Phil, it's your turn. Ask the butcher anything you want.
Great. Al, I've always wanted to know, when a butcher gets a slaughtered cow, now does it come with the organs inside or is it gutted?
Well, now it depends. I'm not a full-service butcher, so I don't handle hearts, brains, livers, etc. I just pet flesh.
Thanks, Al. We're done on the Meat Eaters today. You know, guys, I'm looking down at what's left of the 72-ounce Texan steak we ate.
Oh, we polished her up, huh?
Almost, because here's a square of white bread to soak up the red juice. It's full of iron.
Gimme, yum.
Yeah.
Oh.
Join me next time when we compare kosher and commercial slaughtering on The Meat Eaters.
It's time now for an XRT Comedy Break.
Round up the usual suspects.
Starring the usual suspects.
Man, oh man, Skipper, am I ever hungry?
Then why not get something to eat?
Because I've also got a splitting headache.
Then you're looking for hunger and pain relief in one product.
Yeah, I sure wish a miracle product like that really existed.
Well, you obviously haven't been to your grocer's poultry section lately, because if you had, you'd know about Asper Chicken.
Asper chicken?
That's right, Asper Chicken. You know, even though the good people over at Beloit's own McConnell Meat and Fowl were shut down by the Agriculture Department last year, their researchers were still hard at work developing a delicious chicken that could give quick relief to aches and pains.
Asper chicken.
You got it. What McConnell discovered was this. By shooting massive doses of aspirin into their chickens, you could still get the same succulent white meat you've come to expect from McConnell, with the added bonus of pain-killing power equal to from 11 to 180 aspirin tablets.
Man, 180 aspirin tablets. The pain doesn't stand a chance.
And neither does the hunger. Hey, where you going?
To get some aspirin chicken.
Don't blame you a bit, good buddy. And hey, if you think Mom's chicken soup was good for whatever ailed you, try a bowl of McConnell's Asper Chicken Soup. It's Asperlicious. Asper Chicken and Asper Chicken Soup. From McConnell's Meat and Fowl. McConnell's Meat and Fowl for people who see big business and technology as a good friend.
It's time now for an XRT Comedy Break.
Round up the usual suspects.
Starring the usual suspects.
It's perfectly natural.
It's Perfectly Natural is made possible by a grant from a big company that wants you to think it cares about something besides oil profits.
When an organism chooses to do all its mating with only one partner, scientists call this behavior monogamy. In the animal kingdom, as in the world of humans, this practice is extremely rare. Professor Charles Pope has written about animal monogamy in his book, Stuck for Life.
One striking example of animal monogamy is the giant chainworm. Shortly after birth, the female finds a male, wraps herself around him, and never lets go. After several years, the male dies, but the female lives on, touring the ocean floor with other widows.
High in the meadows of the California Sierras, Professor James Bark studies the North American beaver.
For years, we've known that beavers mate for life, but it's only recently that we've discovered clear evidence of beaver adultery. unexplained absences, long lunch hours, birch trees with initials and hearts gnawed into them, etc. I observed one male actually making the rounds of other lodges while the resident males were out working on dams.
Do all beavers have affairs, Professor Bark?
Oh, no. The most successful beaver relationships are ones in which the partners work hard at keeping variety in their courtship rituals. For example, I saw copying the mating methods of other woodland animals, including frogs, bats, and elk.
You must have enjoyed that.
Well, yes, I did.
By the shores of Lake Abitibi in Canada, Professor William Bliss studies a monogamous bird, the coot.
Here by the shores of Lake Abitibi in Canada,
I've already established the location, Professor.
Ah, thank you. We've discovered a rather disturbing practice among the monogamous coots, divorce. Right now, I'm observing a divorce proceeding arbitrated by a large mosquito. The male coot argues that he should be given half the nest, while the female disputes his right to visit the fledglings.
Professor Bliss seems to think he can understand the speech of birds.
Well, I mean, it's not the speech exactly. It's more of an elaborate dance. See, by waving my wings...
While Professor
like
Bark has himself undergone a very messy divorce.
Hey, leave my personal life out of this.
And Professor Pulp has a little something on the side with an instructor in the classics department.
I'd like to see your evidence for that hypothesis.
Then study these snapshots from the Pink Pagoda Motel. Men and other animals will always try to sneak around because it's perfectly scummy.
She means it's perfectly natural.
No, when I say scummy, I mean scummy, so don't correct me, you patronizing, philandering twit with a fake British accent.
It's time now for an XRT comedy break.
Round up the usual suspects.
Starring the usual suspects.
Hello and welcome to Alternative Medicine. I'm your host, Carla Winter. With me in the studio today, Dr. Philip Bronstein III, MD, DPhil, MD.
What's that? I'm sorry, I left my beeper on the links. I'm rarely without it. Can I just leave my this number on my,
Certainly.
with my office?
And also with us today, old Doc Hatcher from Southern Illinois.
Hello, honey.
Hello, Doc. It's nice to have you here. And we have a special guest today, Dr. Gene Strepp.
Hi, Carla. Glad to be here.
Nice to have you, Dr. Strepp. Dr. Strepp is an expert on menopausal women. Let's start with you, Dr. Strepp. I know you've been doing studies on menopausal women for how long?
Well, informally, ever since I was a young lad and my mother crossed the bridge, as it were.
See, let's get a general survey of the subject. Dr. Bronstein, what do you recommend for menopausal women?
Was that a ring? Did I hear a ring in
no,
here?
It
Maybe
didn't
my
ring,
office was
Dr.
okay.
Bronstein.
Well, first of all, I'm not sure that this is a subject we should be discussing in the open. Probably would recommend the Bronstein Sanitarium for anything, but perhaps 2,000-3,000 cc's of estrogen for a woman.
Oh,
Can
that's
I just
all we
get
need
back
to hear
my
from
office?
you, Dr. Bronstein. Dr. Hatcher, old Doc Hatcher, anything?
Well, you know, Mrs. Grauer passed into menopause on 4 different occasions, a very rare case. The worst one was when she served poor Mr. Grauer the family cat at Thanksgiving dinner. So I'm not sure how you deal with that kind of
I don't think, no, we don't know quite. Dr. Strepp, let's get back to you. You're the expert. What prompted your interest in this subject?
Well, my whole childhood was revolving around a feminine bearing on
That's
things.
wonderful.
I'm the youngest of 5. My 4 older siblings are all girls.
Great.
And my father was a weak man, and I didn't really have a chance to
Dr. Strepp,
play with
please don't cry in this studio.
the hand-me-downs. I didn't own a men's bike until I moved out on my own.
Strap, that's a silk tie you're weeping on.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
Dr. Bronstein.
I see that maybe this is a personal problem for you. And
Not a problem. It's a discovery. It's an area of discovery that fascinates me, and how women have suffered through the years with since
What's
the
he
time of the
talking
Greeks.
about? I don't know
Dr.
what
Hatcher, you've got to listen. You don't just laugh at people who put cats on the table.
I think that Dr. Strepp identified with his sisters a great deal, and we're experiencing that through him. And I think that's wonderful in men, and we don't see enough of it.
Well, I think you should come to the Bronstein Clinical Observation Center here. Let me just give you the address here.
I think you should have a game of catch with someone, young man. Maybe that'd...
I think for menopause, we should all take yeast pills and raspberry tea. I'm Carla Winter, and this has been Alternative Medicine.
It's time now for an XRT comedy break.
Round up the usual suspects.
Starring the usual suspects.
Hey, how you doing, everyone? From Booth 1, this is the I Always Eat With My Father show. Okay, Dad. I'm Joe Novak Jr. Sitting next to me is Joe Novak Sr., who is night editor for so long with the old Chicago American. He's got a million stories. He's my dad, and he's in a real holiday mood. I hear you got a story for us today about the holidays, huh, Dad?
I had some eggnog, and I'm happy now.
Okay, good.
In a straw.
Why don't you start with the story you told me about on the way over?
I wrote this story a long time ago, and I'd like to read it now. It's called 6 Hours Until Christmas. 'Twas 6 hours before Christmas, and this guy, Joe, a character named Joe, who lived with his son in a house made of gingerbread, and the son was mean as a witch who would fly on a broom and never fed him anything but old shoes that a cobbler built out of wood. And on Christmas, the old man wanted nothing more than money and presents from a city that would like him. And the son, who also was married to a princess, what?
Is there going to be a point to this story, Dad?
Yes, it says Christmas.
Well, it sounds like all set up. There's not much of a plot here.
Then there was a star that appeared. Here it comes. And the old man, Joe, followed the star, and it led him to a castle. And there he met a newspaper editor who said, Joe, I haven't seen you in a while. Where have you been? And Joe said, well, my son is taking advantage of me on a radio program.
Dad, I think that's
and
enough,
I'm kept hostage in a box.
Yeah, come on, you live very well, Dad.
Joe
I think that's enough of your
asked
story.
the people of the city to send him money at this address.
No, you're not giving an address, Dad. You don't need money. You're paid very well for what you do here.
I don't have a very
just
merry...
rambling, incoherent stuff you do. I think you're paid very well, okay?
It's just fiction.
Yeah, it is fiction. Believe me, people. I'm sorry. Everybody out there, have a nice Christmas.
Have a very Merry Christmas.
We'll talk to you again in the new year.
Ho, ho.
It's time now for an XRT comedy break.
Round up the usual suspects.
Starring the usual suspects.
Oh, you must have put voodoo on me. Oh, you must have cast a spell.
Once again, it's Voodoo Mailbag. I'm your host, Steve, and with me, as always, Dr. Blood.
How you doing, Steve?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
You know, we've been getting a lot of letters, Doctor, saying that people are cutting way back on their voodoo activities during the winter. And that's just...
Big
not
mistake.
Necessary, no.
Hey, you don't cut back on eating. You don't cut back on drinking, you know.
Exactly. I should also mention we have another special guest with us, Mariana from her coven. Welcome.
Hi.
So, winter. There's what you can do in the winter. For example, the old snowman effigy. You form a snowman like your victim, and then you can just stick an icicle or even a stick right into it and get a lot of injuries out of that.
Yeah, and then, of course, the dogs take care of it later on.
That's true, too.
I'll tell you, you got to watch the temperature, though. You know, if you build the effigy, say, in the morning, and then the temperature keeps rising, it could melt and actually look like someone else. So you could be doing some harm to someone you didn't intend to.
Exactly.
I've got to say that a lot of the things I hear about objecting to winter voodoo is the mess it is inside.
Exactly.
And I have to warn people, certainly, you know, there are messes on your carpet. Put down some newspaper. If it goes through, half water, half woolite, spray it on there with a water spritzer and it'll take it right up.
Yeah, a lot of people think that chicken blood just cannot be cleaned, and it can.
It can, and I thoroughly recommend the woolite and water combination. It works perfectly.
Okay, we've got a caller on the line now, and I'd like to go to him now. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, Steve, how are you?
Good.
Hi, Dr. Blood, how are you?
Oh, pretty good.
This is Darlock, bartender over at the Fire and Ice. I know you guys have popped in there before.
The Fire and Ice.
I always have the Devil's Cup.
Oh, yeah, we're brewing some up right now. I don't know if you saw the posters on the wall when you were in there. Of course, we're taking our annual bus trip over to Stonehenge for the winter solstice.
Great.
Bunch of us. And, you know, I've been there before during the summer, and I've practiced the incantation for the summer solstice. And I wanted to try the incantation, to freeze time. I wanted to try and freeze time if I could. I'm just not sure how to alter the incantation from summer to winter. Maybe you could help me out.
Well, first of all, if you want the standard summer to winter incantation, I don't want to give this away on the air. I think you know the summer incantation.
I sure do.
Invert the third and the seventh word, and you've got the winter incantation.
Yeah, but watch, make sure it's those words, because there's a variety of other things you could do, and, you could burst into flame for one thing, which happened to a buddy of mine.
That's right.
You could have an effect on Stonehenge, and we all like to visit there.
No, I just want to freeze time.
Well, if you want to freeze time, in addition to that, let me say change the ninth word to the word dog, and you've got it.
I got it.
Hey, say hi to all the good druids over there for me, would you, buddy?
I sure will, Doc. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody. That's it for us for today. Bye-bye.
It's time now for an XRT comedy break.
Round up the usual suspects.
Starring the usual suspects.
Holding hands at midnight neath a starry sky. Nice work if you can get it, and you can get it if you try.
Hello, once again, it's How Hard Can That Be? The show that tells you about different professions and tries to make them, a little less intimidating. I'm Bob Cooper.
And I'm Karen Cooper.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Bob.
Who's our guest today?
Our guest today is Martin Schwartz, and he's a social worker. Hi, Martin.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, we're fine.
That's great.
A social worker. So you do some sort of work that is social.
Well, yes, for the last 7 years, I've devoted my life to the Phoenix Center.
Phoenix?
In Arizona, or?
No, it's here in Chicago. The phoenix is a mythical bird that rose from the ashes, and that's really
we know
we're...
what the phoenix is.
Oh,
we're
do you?
not dumb.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really what we're doing in the more disadvantaged neighborhoods here in the city and surrounding areas.
You're teaching them what Phoenix means?
No, the Phoenix Center, of course, being the central location where we really try to bring people's lives that have pretty much gone down in flames, as it were, up again.
I see. So you're running a sort of daycare center of some kind.
Right.
Babysitting service?
You have a lot of kids, right?
Well, yes, there are kids. The ages range from 5 years of age to 25.
Oh, so you're right. It is a daycare center.
You know, Karen has told me about how when she was a teenager, to pick up some extra dollars, she would babysit for her neighbor's kids.
Yeah. It must be something like that.
Well, no, not at all, actually. These are kids who... either from broken homes or have
Bob,
gotten
your
into
mom
some
had
kind of...
5 kids, didn't she?
That's right. She raised them all on her own and didn't get paid for it either.
I guess really, Martin, you're a mom. But when a man's a mom, then it's suddenly more important, isn't it?
Do the disadvantaged people pay you?
No, they don't pay me.
Have
it's
you
my
ever
own
had
money.
Have you ever had a paying job?
Yes, I was a banker for 15 years.
Now,
And
there's a good job. That's hard work, isn't it?
No, it was not a
sure
good
is.
job. That's my point. I was not helping
Why
people
did you
in
give
that
that
position.
up?
That's why I'm here. I gave it up because I felt I wasn't contributing
I don't
to
think
society.
that you finish things very well, Martin. And maybe it's easier to
What do
run
you-
a daycare center than it is to be a banker, don't you think?
Yeah, and if it's just like babysitting...
And being a mom...
How hard can that be?
Join us next week when we have Barbara Schmidt on. She's a phone repairman.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's time now for an XRT comedy break.
Round up the usual suspects.
Starring the usual suspects.
Drinking wine, hey buddy, pass that bottle of me.
Hello and welcome to Lively Spirits, the only show on the radio that promotes a sensible approach to and an appreciation of alcohol. With me as co-host, my brother, Phil.
Thanks, Don. And of course, here in the studio with us, because of very strict FCC guidelines, is Officer Jenkins.
Thanks, guys. You think you can keep it together today?
Well, he is direct. Officer Jenkins is mandated by law to yank us off the air should we become unable to operate the show.
Well, I don't think we're going to have a problem with that today, because our guest is here to introduce us to coffee drinks.
That's right, Phil. She's Carmen White, and she's a charter member of the National Alcohol Board.
Hi, Don. Phil.
You know, Carmen, we've been getting a lot of mail lately accusing us of promoting alcohol for NAB in exchange for free liquor.
Oh, no, I couldn't do that if I wanted to.
Well, there you have it.
Right.
Oh, by the way, thanks for the pool.
Yeah, my new chopper is great, too, but do you think I could get a landing strip built?
I'll look into it, okay? Let's start today with something we call a whiskey espresso.
Ooh, sounds good. Now, what's in that?
Well, Phil, it's a shot or two of aged bourbon and espresso.
Well, you know, I'm not much of a coffee drinker, but let's give it a taste.
Hey, slow down,
My tongue! That is hot.
Are you okay?
Yeah, fine.
These drinks are good fall and winter pick-me-ups, and they can be enjoyed anytime.
Even first thing in the morning?
Hey, sure, why not?
Okay.
Next, we have a coffee iced tea. It's made with 5 clear liquors, just like an iced tea, but instead of Coke, you add coffee.
All right, yeah.
And to some extent, the coffee offsets the influence of the alcohol.
This is great.
You hear that, Jenkins? I can't get drunk with this stuff.
Okay, now take it easy,
Yeah, I
guys.
can feel the coffee, but not the alcohol. Hey, what's in this one?
That's coffee and creme de la coco, creme de mint, creme de apricot, and creme de la creme.
Hey, look at me. I'm drinking, but I'm not drunk.
Hey, try one, Jenkins.
Hey, come on, let's dance.
I'll have one of those and one of those and one of those.
Hey, give me one of those. Hey, let me try one of those. Come on, Don. I'll feed you.
Okay, that's it. Time to go home.
Come on, I'm not drunk. If I were drunk, I'd be tired. Let's go outside and run around.
This is Officer Jenkins for Don and Phil saying be careful out there.
For an XRT comedy break.
Round up the usual suspects.
Starring the usual suspects.
Hi, it's time again for home car repair. I'm Mike from Jack's Auto Repair Shop, and I'm here to answer questions about problems you're having with your car. So let's go right to the phones. Hello, you are on the air.
Hi, Mike. It's your sister Nan.
Hi.
Look, I want to know what you want to get Mom for Christmas.
What?
We're talking about a stereo or a rocking chair, maybe a dress from Carson's.
A stereo? That seems kind of extravagant, doesn't it?
Well, we were all going to chip in. Don't you make enough money at your job down at the shop?
Well, speaking of my job down at the shop, I am trying to do
and
part
one
of
more
it
thing.
right
Why
now.
didn't you show up at Thanksgiving? Mom was really upset.
I told Mom I had to work that day.
Yeah, well, she set a place for you anyway, and she cried all night.
Oh, brother. Maybe I should call her.
Oh, yeah, fine. Well, I gotta go.
Okay, yes, I think you do.
Mike,
okay?
Mike, I love you.
Thank you, Nan. I love you, too. Okay, hello, next caller. You are on the air.
Hey, dude.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, not too good. I got some problems, man.
Oh, what's your problem?
Well, cops arrested me last Halloween
Yeah.
in October for dressing up my car for the holiday. Now they arrest me again at Christmas.
Well,
Same thing.
Hold it. Well, how did you decorate your car for Halloween?
Oh, it was all black. I put black paper all over it so you couldn't even see it at night.
Cool idea.
Yeah.
It's a little dangerous, I think.
That's what the coppers said.
And how about this Christmas decoration? What have you done?
You can see it fine now. I got lights on it. I took off the trunk, and I got a manger scene all lit up inside it. I got one of those Santa heads on the front of it that spins around like the chick in The Exorcist.
I see.
You can see me fine now, man. They still arrest me.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is enjoy your car.
Well, the cops can't have it both ways, you know? First they say they can't see me. Now they say they see me too well. I mean, what's the deal, Mike?
Well, here's the deal. I'm cutting you off, and let's go to the next caller. Hello, you are on the air.
Hi, Mike. It's Ann again.
Nan.
I thought since you weren't there at Thanksgiving, you probably don't know who your Pollyanna is because we chose Grab Bag. Well, you and have you. Now, what do you want? I'm not getting you a white shirt either, any kind of shirt. It just gets stained up at that garage. And I'm not coming down there to talk to you about it either, Mike, because those guys just whistle at me. It's a mess.
Well, ever since that summer, you had to come by in your little halter top.
It was hot that summer, Mike. Don't give me that.
And you just asked me what I want for Christmas? What kind of a surprise is that? Gosh,
you just want the money again?
Yeah,
is that
why
what
don't you
you're saying?
just give me the cash
Yeah,
or something,
fine.
okay?
Okay, fine.
Okay.
I love you, Mike.
Thanks for calling. All right. I'm afraid that's all the time we have, listeners. And until next time, good luck with your cars and your Christmas shopping and your sisters. Goodbye.
It's time now for an XRT comedy break.
Round up the usual suspects.
Starring the usual suspects.
The late 20th century in the United States. Crime is rampant, yet only one man has the guts to mete out true justice. Judge Nicholas Himmler, the radio judge.
Okay, like the man said, I am the radio judge. You pretty much kiss your constitutional rights goodbye when you come into my radio courtroom. I got a very special Christmas case here. What's the deal here, everyone?
Your Honor, Richard Volkus, U.S. District Attorney, and prosecuting the case. We're seeking a restraining order against one Christopher Horatio Kringle, a gentleman here to my right,
who has been, as he does every year around this time, hanging outside of malls and along State Street there promising children gifts and deliveries that he possibly couldn't make. The man's a derelict. I don't think he has a penny to his name, and we'd just like to stick him in a home somewhere. I'm sure you'll agree.
Okay, you the guy who thinks you're Kringle?
Oh, dear, yes, I am that man, sir.
Okay, do you have a defense attorney?
Yes, sir, I'm his defense attorney. My client would like to plead that he... Excuse me. Your Honor, I have some new evidence that I would like to submit. Please open the door of the radio courtroom.
Oh, wait.
Okay, open them up.
Your Honor, these are thousands of letters addressed to Mr. Kris Kringle at this address. The U.S. Post Office has delivered mail to this man. Obviously, they believe he's Santa Claus.
Yeah, okay, great. Get this stuff off my desk, huh? You little... Whoa!
Your Honor, this is almost irrefutable evidence.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to come to a decision
Sir,
now. Yeah,
my
what?
client would like to speak for himself.
Oh, Kringle?
Your Honor, all I do is bring joy and happiness to the children of the world every year, bringing them toys and gifts. I really don't see what's wrong with that.
Yeah, whatever, Kringle. Okay, through the miracle that is radio, you will now hear my thought process as I come to a decision. Well, it's not like I have anything against Christmas. I mean, Christmas is always all right, I guess.
Hey, Mickey, come in and help decorate the tree.
Here you go, son. Here's a new bicycle for you.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
Hey, Mom's baking cookies, Nicky.
Here you go, son. Here's a new mitt for you, son. Let's play tennis.
I'll catch all the fly balls.
There you go, Nicky. Here's a new car for you, son.
Thanks, Dad.
Hey, Nick, here's a law degree for you, son. Catch.
Oh, that's great, Dad. Whoa, I had to cut that off. That's a little scary. Okay, I've come to a decision. I understand your defense. You say, since the federal government says this guy's Kris Kringle and he's Kris Kringle. Well, forget it. The federal government's what screwed up this country since the end of World War II. Read a book, pal. There is no Kris Kringle, and it sure ain't you, okay?
No, sir, please.
Okay, I sentence you to serve the last 20 years or however long you're going to live up in a home in Rockford. It's a little drafty, but I think they'll take care of you.
Oh, no, sir.
We will appeal, sir.
Yeah, well, that's your prerogative. That's another thing that's wrong with this country. I don't even want to get into it. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for listening to this special Christmas edition of the Radio Judge. Court is adjourned. Bring up the applause, bring up the music, the whole bit.
This Christmas. It's time now for an XRT comedy break.
Round up the usual suspects.
Starring the usual suspects.
And now, another adventure of Preston, the extremely precocious baby. Today, Preston's mother takes him along to the grocery store.
Okay, we've got the Pop-Tarts for your father, so let's get something for little Preston.
Thank you, Mother. I am intrigued by these international coffees, especially the Belgian hazelnut.
Preston, you're not even a year old. You can't drink coffee.
True, I don't wish to be addicted to caffeine at such a tender age. Perhaps some herbal tea, then. I like the drawing of a tiger on this Bengal spice.
Let's just look at the baby food, all right, Preston?
I've been told that I resemble the Gerber baby.
What about apples and turkey?
I wonder how this unnatural union is brought about. Are the apples and turkeys pureed separately and then stirred together? Or are they thrown whole into a huge vat and mashed? Or perhaps captive turkeys are force-fed a diet of apples.
All right. Maybe you'd like to try this veal.
I don't know which I find more repugnant, the confinement of baby cows in tiny stalls, or the confined veal in tiny jars.
Well, Preston, we have to get something. How about this vegetable and bacon dinner?
Am I the only person here reminded of cat food?
Excuse me. I'd just like to get a couple of peach cobblers if I could.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll get out of your way.
Mister, do you intend to feed that muck to your child?
Whoa, who said that?
I am addressing you, fellow shopper. I am Preston.
Wow. Ours isn't even talking yet, and he's twice his size.
No doubt you have accelerated his growth by stuffing him with peach cobbler.
Well, he loves the stuff.
How charming.
Now, Preston.
Have you ever tried it?
Well,
Here, have a taste. Don't worry, I'll pay for it.
But right here in the store, we don't have my little spoon.
Now, here, Preston. Here. I'll put some on my finger.
Thank you, Mother. I hope you've washed your hands. Not bad.
See? Don't knock it until you've tried it.
I shall try to remember that sage advice. Mother, let's get 6 jars. I'm also interested in trying my hand at these meat sticks.
That's fine, honey.
And if possible, I'd like some animal crackers to hold in my mouth until they're soft so I can spit them on the floor.
Join us next time when Preston, the extremely precocious baby, rides the subway.
It's time now for an XRT comedy break.
Round up the usual suspects.
Starring the usual suspects.
Now available in record stores, the Ball Girl Christmas album. You remember Candy Kelly. She was the Cubs' most promising ball girl of the 1980s before a broken nail tragically ended her career. But now, Candy Kelly is back. She's recorded a special holiday greeting just for you. The Ball Girl Christmas album featuring Candy's own holiday fable.
Once there was a little girl named Candy. Yay! And she was very beautiful, and all for Christmas was nail polish and a mirror.
You'll also hear the classics.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house that a creator was stirring, not even a mouse.
And a personal message from the ball girl, Candy Kelly herself.
I'd just like to say that Christmas is a time to remember others. Let's remember those less fortunate, like someone who has a broken car or a really ugly Christmas tree. Maybe like somebody whose uncle doesn't have a condo in Fort Lauderdale, or a father who won't lend them money.
Treat your family to a brand new classic, the Ball Girl Christmas album. She'll simply warm your heart.
Happy holidays, and God bless you, everyone.
Time now for an XRT comedy break.
Round up the usual suspects.
Starring the usual suspects.
You're listening to Mike, and we are the airporters.
As far as we know, the only show on the air that deals exclusively with airports and the people who love them.
Before we get going, I just want to get something off my chest.
Go, Mike.
I was at LAX earlier this week, and I had breakfast, okay? And I know Mike is going to jump down my throat here because he loves the food at airports, but it was a bad meal.
What? No way!
No, it's true. The eggs were greasy. The wheat toast I ordered turned out to be white bread, and the bacon was 100% fat, you know? But I'm sitting eating this slop, and I realize that I'm in an airport. And there's the bustle of all the people coming and going, and those golf carts carrying people with broken legs to make their connections, and I think, hey, what did I spend on this meal? A lousy $18 maybe? Who cares if the food is bad? I'm in an airport. That's what it's all about.
I couldn't agree with you more. And it's about time you realize. It's like a hot dog at a ball game, right?
Yeah.
And not the best hot dog you'll ever have, but something tastes better about it because of where you're eating it.
Right.
By the way, in the good food category, had 6 shrimp and a glass of wine out at O'Hare over the weekend. First rate all the way.
What'd it cost you?
I think it was only $32.
Not bad. Let's go to the phones.
Yo, Mike and Mike.
Yeah.
With the holidays here, I'd just like to suggest your nearest international airport as a great alternative to a mall or downtown area. You've got great shopping in the gift shop.
Sure do.
Christmas music playing over
Beautiful,
the sound
yes.
system. And people from all over the world crossing paths.
Right you are, friend. And don't forget the interdenominational chapels that you can find in most of the larger airports.
Not to mention some of the special holiday fare the snack shops and restaurants offer.
Oh, yeah. Hey, holiday time is anytime. Airports are the place to be.
Departure time. This is Mike.
And I'm Mike.
And we're the airporters.